Welcome back, guys. This is Mr. Messina, and today we're going to continue our Unit 5. We're talking about the Tree of Life. This is the second lesson in our unit here, and as you can see, it's actually brought to you in 2D. Stunning 2D. Wow. Ooh, ah, yes. Alright, so I'll know I've got it when, and you see our three different ones here, I can identify the 6 kingdoms of the Tree of Life. I can describe characteristics of each of those 6 kingdoms, and then I can classify an organism into its appropriate kingdom. So basically focusing on the kingdoms in this one. In our last lesson, we learned about the different hierarchy of traditional classification. I had you guys go through and work on mnemonics. My personal mnemonic for that was Dear King Philip came over from Greece singing songs. So I'm sure you guys have some really good ones. Okay, the first part of that, the D for domain, we have 3 different domains here. Okay, and as you're probably looking at this, you see that this chart is pretty vast. Okay, this chart's probably going to be the most important thing that you write down. So if you need a little bit of time, go ahead and pause the video, draw this chart. This table here is going to definitely help you in the future. What this does is that it actually breaks down our 3 domains, bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. And then it actually looks at our 6 different kingdoms, which is going to be the main focus of this PowerPoint. We see cell types, we see number of cells, the way that they get their energy. In our last unit, we actually talked about these autotrophs and heterotrophs, and this was the different trophic levels. Okay. So, as I do with most of the things, I want to talk about the different types of affixes, which are your prefixes and your suffixes and your root words. So if you look at some of these here, we see the prefix pro, P-R-O, and that's going to represent first. So anywhere you see pro, such as prokaryote, means the first karyote. The root word there, kero, actually means nucleus. So a prokaryote means the first nucleus, or the first cells that had nucleus. The prefix uni and multi should be fairly common to you, or fairly familiar. Uni, U-N-I, is one, or single, whereas multi is many. Okay. Autotrophs and heterotrophs should sound really familiar. Autotrophs make their own food. Heterotrophs eat something that makes their own food, or eat something that eats something that makes it its own food. Another prefix you may not be familiar with is U. EU means true. And so when we put that in front of a karyote or karyo, we see that a true nucleus. So this is something that actually has one of those real nucleus, a nucleus, and we'll see those in our multicellular organisms, and we'll look at those a little later. But I really want you to focus on these different kingdoms here. Okay, the first kingdom we're going to look at is Eubacteria, and this is most known for the cyanobacteria, or the blue-green bacteria. These are very, very, very small bacteria. You can see the size here on the bottom. Some of the characteristics are that they are the oldest organisms in the ocean. They're prokaryotes, that means they're simple-celled, they're singular-celled, and the majority of them are autotrophs, so they get their energy from either photosynthesis or chemosynthesis. Next one, Archaebacteria. Okay, these are some of my favorite ones, the extremophiles, the ones that live in the extreme environments. Okay, we see an example here is hypothermophiles. Personally, I like the hypothermophiles the best out of all of these. Thermo means heat, so and hyper is extreme. So these are things that live in the extreme heat environments. Okay, the majority of these are also prokaryotes and they're unicellular. Okay, the majority of them, like it says here, are autotrophs. Okay, so they either get all their energy from chemosynthesis. All right, we'll look at kingdom fungi. We're going to kind of move through this a little fast, so if you need to pause, please pause, relax. Okay, so fungi, fungus. Okay, this is probably the least common in the ocean. It's less than 1% of all fungi actually live in the ocean here. They're eukaryotes, which means that they have a true nucleus. They're multicellular, and they're heterotrophic, which means they need to eat something which produces its own energy. Alright, can't really see this, it's kind of hidden, but kingdom Protista. Okay, we have a lot of different organisms in this one. They're eukaryotes, that means they have complex cells. They're unicellular, which means they only have one cell. And they can either be a heterotroph or an autotroph. Okay, we have three different taxonomy groups here. We have the phytoplankton, which should sound really familiar. Zooplankton, which are these little animal plankton which actually live inside corals. And then we also have algae, which is seaweed. Alright, kingdom Plantae, or Plantae. This is just like it sounds. These are the plants. They're eukaryotes, they're complex cells, they're multicellular, and they're all autotrophs. They use photosynthesis to make their own energy, to make their own food. Last but not least, kingdom Animalia. You know what? This is saving the best for last here. Okay? They have the most diverse amount of organisms. Their multi-branching phylogenetic tree includes just a sample of the organisms found in kingdom Animalia. This should kind of resonate within you because this is where we live. This is our kingdom. Okay, where we have the most diverse kingdom. We're complex cells, we're eukaryotes, multicellular, which means we have more than one cell, which obviously we have more than one cell in our body. And the majority of the kingdom Animalia are heterotrophs, which means they need to use cellular respiration and they need to eat something which either eats something that produces its own energy or eats something which produces its own energy. Well guys, that's it. Nice quick 8-minute show for you. Remember to take notes. If you see anything that's bolded, highlighted, or in a big old yellow box, you should probably write it down. So if you need to go back, please go back right now. Take your time and get this stuff done. Have a good day.